We're proud of our country, mountains and streams. Our Jennian culture, our nation, our team.
Partnering with people who share your values is important. To achieve gold medals, you've got to put the hard yards in. The Jennian team share that pursuit of excellence, giving their best every day. And they get the results. Well done on 40 years, Jennian. Thanks for being the team behind the NZ team.
Kia ora tātou, welcome back into Newtown Park in Wellington to Whanganui Atara as we face our final session, the 2024 Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships. It's been so good so far, but we're pumped for a last final session. Mark Rosanowski and Sarah Cowley-Ross with you, and Hayden Sherman will be in with us very shortly. We've got some national record holders coming this afternoon, the likes of Joshua Hawkins on the track over the hurdles and Rosie Elliott over the 200 metres, and we're really looking forward to a high jump competition which is about to get underway. And Sarah, I know you'll have close eyes on that, as many things as you can though, because we've got pole vault and an under-20s long jump with Hannah Collins, who won the senior triple this morning.
Yeah, an outstanding day for Hannah Collins already, and what can she do in this under-20 long jump? That has kicked off on the back straight. We've got senior women's high jump in the early stages. We've got a great field there. Courtney Trow is the only one in the competition who has jumped so far. The bar is at 159. She's cleared that. And we've got the senior men's pole vault in action. The bar there is at 377. The officials are just adjusting that as we see the start list for the senior men's pole vault, featuring Nick Southgate and James Stain. They've had great battles over the years, and today will be another ding-dong between them.
And like yesterday, Sarah, we have to wait for a wee while before the key contenders come in to the competition. We saw that yesterday. Let's get down though to the high jump, because this is a small but very select field.
Small but accomplished field, and this is Naomi Waite, who on Friday jumped 180 for the first time. She obtained the World Junior Performance Standard, and she just gets over 164 there. In doing so, she jumped a 5 centimetre personal best, which is really outstanding. So Naomi Waite, certainly one to watch. Imogen Skelton jumped a PB recently, 187. Kelly O'Hagan, PB 189, set at the Commonwealth Games in 2022 in the final. And Maddie Wilson, the heptathlete, 186 personal best. So we'll keep an eye on that as we look at the senior men's pole vault. And that looks like Jared Neighbours there as we go to the senior women's high jump. This is Courtney Trow, and she's over at 164.
So just talk us through, Sarah, those jumpers who are passing these early heights and look like they might come in. Where do you expect them to come in?
I'd expect them to enter the competition around 174.
Righto.
So it's really nice conditions down here at Newtown Park, and they don't want to expend too much juice early on in the competition in the legs. Some of them have Maddie Wilson, she's done a few events already this weekend, but the likes of Imogen and Keeley, they want to save their energy for those higher heights. But it does not mean that you take the early heights, you put the handbrake on, I guess, because you want to ensure that if you are electing to come in earlier, you clear at first attempt.
Sure.
And it all counts in terms of the final places. If there's a countback situation, it all matters, those early misses. So that's the high jump. Beautiful images there, brought to you by our Stream Shop team, who are entering the home straight.
It's enormous for them.
Enormous for our camera crew. And we have a birthday in our camera crew as well. So happy birthday, Josh.
Can you believe it? He's 20. 20. Steps into the senior ranks now.
Yeah, I can't believe it, actually. Right, so we've got a big field in this under 20 long jump. Well, actually, there are... Oh, there's Josh. Good on you, Josh. Naomi Waite. Senior women's high jump, 169. She goes over the bar. Yeah, what impressed me about Naomi Waite the other day and her jumping was that at 176, when she set her personal best, she then went on to 180 and was so calm in that moment, recognising the importance of the high 180 for a high jumper is a bit of a barrier, but it was well within her reach, and I think she can go much higher than that, depending on how much juice she's got left in the legs for this competition. But great to see her backing up in the senior women's, as we see Courtney Trout, 169, first attempt. And she knocks that off. So she'll need to reassess that. Now, coming up this afternoon, we've got some exciting 100 metre and 110 metre finals. We've got the 200s, and then we're going to finish with a flurry of 4x400 metre relays, which are always so exciting.
Save the carnage for last, eh?
Save the carnage for last. Let's hope there's not too much carnage in this pole vault.
Good.
It's Toby Martin.
Sorry, Sarah. I was just hoping to get to the pole vault and then called up the wrong tab. So there you go. So it was a false start from me. Back to you.
377 there for
Samuel Harris. So it's the second Otago.
Yeah, my apologies.
So
not Toby Martin.
Samuel's over, and he just came into the competition, so it's very difficult to keep up with because we just had a couple to start with. Jared Neighbours, he's gone clear, 357, 377, 397. Samuel Harris came in at 397 clear. Toby Martin, the other Otago competitor, had missed his first, and he's just missed his second attempt there at the senior men's pole vault, where we await Nick Southgate and James Stain. Will be some time. Looks like they're going to come in at the moment. They've passed up to 5 metres 12 by the looks, which is a pretty decent height to come in at.
So it's always a bit of a juggling act in these competitions for the ones that enter the competition later, because they've completed their warm-ups, they've gone through their process, and then they have to stay warm but also not expend too much energy. So sometimes they'd come in at an earlier height than maybe normal when the field is big and treat it like a warm-up jump. Courtney Trout, 169. Better attempt, but not to be. So she will have one more attempt at this bar height.
Back to the pole vault, and then we'll have the runners to the blocks for the women's 100 metre hurdles under 20. And a field of 5 going to the blocks for this. Holly Gray, Canterbury, got Talia Van Rooyen, Amelia Harmon-Smith, and Mantsarova. Saskia Rind, and we're underway. Talia Van Rooyen coming straight through the middle and going to the lead, and Holly Gray as well, making a really good battle of this, and they've cleared out from the opposition, and Holly Gray's come underneath Talia Van Rooyen, and Holly Gray will take it out from Talia Van Rooyen, and Amelia Harmon-Smith home in third. Just have to check my Yes, Amelia Hellman-Smith home in third.
So really strong running there from Holly Gray to come over Talia Van Ruin there in the second half of that senior women's hurdles. This is the women under 20 long jump currently taking place on the back straight. They're in round 2. That was Lila Favor, 470.
Should be a great battle there between Charlotte Goldsmith and Hannah Collins, you would think.
I would hope so. They're great talented young juniors as we
Toby
see.
Martin be his, is that his second or his third and final there?
Amelia Hellman-Smith of Samoa got third in 15.8.
And not to be there for Courtney Cho in the senior women's high jump. So she will exit the competition, but we go to the back straight, women's under 20 long jump. Cleo Loader, currently in second in round 2, had a jump of 5:01 in round 1 into a minus 1.0, 1.2. So shifty wins, which these under 20 athletes will need to get a hold of as we take a first look at Imogen Skelton, ready to enter the competition at 174.
Imogen's had a really good season, Sarah.
Brilliant season, 187 at the ITM, at the International Track Meet, and just really growing in confidence, working with Kieran McKee and Mike Ritchie. Training partner actually now of Naomi Waite, which is pretty cool.
Ty Rhodes at the pole vault, 397. Had a successful clearance at 377, but 397 proving tough for Ty and also for Toby Martin, looking to stay in the competition with Jared Neighbours and Samuel Harris at this stage.
So Skelton, first jump of the day. 174, first attempt, light work.
And as usual, a good crowd gathered down there around the fence line and up on the ledge of the bank.
So we'll go back to the back straight where we have this under 20 long jump. Hannah Collins has passed her first 2 rounds. So potentially knows that she's had a lot to deal with in the legs this morning. But this is Charlotte Goldsmith, our current competition leader. Nice hang technique, had a jump of 569 in round 1 into a minus 1.0.
So 3 jumps to sort out the top 8, but with the size of the field, they'll all get an extra 3. So I guess an opportunity for Hannah to do what she's done here, pass early.
And this is an improvement from Goldsmith, 576. So 0.3 wind, so a slight wind behind her. But this is Maddie Wilson, first attempt 174.
She's on here.
And she will look to address that because she won't be happy with that. I thought she was a bit walking a bit gingerly after that senior women's long jump yesterday, but I saw her partner Hamish Curry said, don't worry, jumps off the other foot for high jump, she'll be fine. Back to the under 20 long jump. Saskia Rind of Waikato Bay of Plenty. So this is Saskia Wright. Doesn't quite nail her landing there. But she'll go back for round 2. And in fact, that's bumped her up into the bronze medal position. So we go to the men's pole vault. This is Jared Neighbours. And actually we'll come back to that. This is Naomi Waite, 174, second attempt, she's over. So prior to Friday, that was very close to her personal best. Now she's in a different league. And she'll need to just go about her work, not get too far ahead of herself in this competition and nail these heights. As we see Neighbours there, unfortunate miss at 4.17.
Toby Martin cleared 3.97 on his third attempt, so he remains in.
Maddie Wilson.
Clipped it with the heels.
So Maddie Wilson actually finished second in this high jump last year. As we go back to the under 20 long jump. Anna Mansurova in third at the moment. That jump was 5.09. So Maddie Wilson, she'll need to rally herself to get over her opening height. See Hamish Kerr down there on the fence line. World Indoor Champion, 2.36. And I just had to chat to him. He's really excited to head over to some Diamond League events in China next month and continue his preparations for the big show in Paris in August.
Rarefied air, isn't it? 2.36. We invite you every time to measure this in your house. See how high Hamish can now jump, and there's very few people in the world that can do what he is doing.
So as our cameras pan around the stadium, we go over to the women's under 20 long jump. This is a replay of the Canterbury athlete.
Lila Favre, she has just elevated herself to fourth, 4.82, with Saskia Rind back 1 centimetre to fifth now. Anna Mansurova has come in 5.09.
Samuel Harris there. He's over 4.17.
2 minutes to the start.
As we see the start list now in the senior women's 100 metre hurdles. And it's Celine Hearn, Brianna Stephenson, look for Stephenson, Alia Johnson, and Alessandra McDonald.
So it's 100 metres hurdles, senior, up shortly. Brianna has been in really good form over the hurdles.
And in this field we have from last year's championships the silver and bronze medalists.
It's Cleo Loader there, that jump in the under 20 women's long jump. She's currently in second with a jump of 5.11. The bar now goes to 178. Imogen Skelton will be first to jump. We'll see Keely O'Hagan for the first time. And Maddie Wilson did clear that height on her third attempt. So we have Waite, Skelton, O'Hagan, and Wilson. 178, first attempt. Remember, first attempts critical. And Imogen Skelton, she's originally from Wellington, back down here training and over the bar at 178. Not to be for Toby Martin down at the senior men's pole vault. Women under 20 long jump.
Alexandra Domansky, their local athlete, their third.
100 hurdles.
So that's Naomi Waite. That's first miss at 178.
So senior women's 100 metre hurdles final. Alessandra McDonald second last year. Celine Pern third last year. Brianna Stevenson second in the heptathlon, but recently beating Alia Johnson and Imogen Breslin here at the Capital Classic. And Alia Johnson is in this lineup as they take the first heights here, and Brianna Stevenson has a leap to the lead. Alia Johnson over on the outside, Alessandra McDonald right down the outside, and Celine Pern closer in. Brianna Stevenson, one flight clears it and will win. Tight second between Alia Johnson and Alessandra McDonald, and Celine Pern fourth of four, but good competitive race. Brianna Stevenson, Hawke's Bay Gisborne, establishing a lead and able to hang on to that to claim a first 100 metre hurdles title. She's relatively new to the event, but she's doing extremely well. She's clocked 13.94 here, which is just outside her season's best and a couple of tenths down on her personal best, which was set recently across from Queensland.
Great hurdling there from Brianna. There was a lot of anticipation without Anna Percy here this year, the reigning champion, to see how the other women would respond and whether Alessandra could get up and improve from her silver medal from last year. But Brianna, just clean hurdling. And watch this space with Brianna, because although she's moving to heptathlon, she's really liking this event in the 100 hurdles. And I had a quick chat to her dad, and he was saying, look, she's got her sights on the low 13s, so watch this space. I think she's heading over to Australia to do some more competitions, so wouldn't it be great to have male and female 100, 110 hurdles record holders at the same time? But Brianna, that's another step on the way, taking out the national title.
We'll have Joshua Hawkins up soon in the senior men's, the national record holder. And at the high jump, we saw Kelly O'Hagan enter at 178 and successfully over. Maddie Wilson did get 174 at her third attempt. She's missed her first attempt at 178, as has Naomi Waits, who is in here now.
So Dara at 178. That was a good attempt from Naomi.
180 was her successful height and PB in taking out the under-20 title. And with that confidence she's brought in today, she's got one attempt left at 178. Imogen Skelton and Kelly O'Hagan successfully over 178.
So Sarah Kelly-Ross is hunting down Brianna. And I have to apologise, because for the last several years I've been calling Brianna Brianna. Of course it's spelt Brianna. So please everyone, take my apology. We're getting it on track. So Brianna Stevenson is with Sarah Kelly-Ross now.
With 13.94. Elia Johnson just got the edge for the silver medal. Johnson from Auckland. 14.
Just awaiting for that interview to take place. It should be soon. Maddie Wilson has knocked down 178 for a second time. She's been really busy, Maddie, and it may have taken its toll in terms of her being able to produce her best high jump today.
Brianna Stevenson, the new champion, women's 100 metres total.
So Imogen Skelton came in at 174, cleared it first up, and 178 first up. Kelly O'Hagan passed, entered at 178, and first time clearance over that. Spoke with Keely on Friday. She said she was feeling confident of going up and around her PB. And Imogen's jumping extremely well, so it should be a really keen competition. Here's Naomi Waite with her final.
Oh, yes. There we go. 178. She's over on her third attempt. And a little skip and a dance off the mat, and a big sigh of relief. So the under-20 champion producing that wonderful performance of 180 earlier in the weekend. And that was equal to the entry standard, of course, for the World Juniors. Now, Sarah Kelly-Ross has Brianna, the winner of the 100 hurdles.
I have the winner of the 100-metre hurdles, Brianna Stephenson. Congratulations, second national title, but your first one was in long jump. But how does it feel to be the national champion in the 100-metre hurdles?
Feels awesome. Pretty unexpected kind of season with the hurdles, so just super stoked to kind of execute it the way that I wanted to and take the title. Super happy with it.
Now, you actually had a personal best in a heptathlon, 13:74, late December, in that scintillating heptathlon that you did. Let's talk about heptathlon, because you've made some serious gains in the event.
Yeah, it's been super exciting. Kind of just made the transition beginning of last year. My coach Matthew Wyatt wanted to facilitate that while I was coming back from a knee injury, take the pressure off coming back just straight into long jump, and have just loved it and kept going, and now we're seeing some of the results that we kind of knew I was capable of, so it's really exciting.
You had 2 events this weekend, so for a combined event, a bit of a light weekend for you, really. But nonetheless, you got the job done here today.
Yeah.
5.619 at the New Zealand Championships in the heptathlon. When will we see you line up for another hep?
So I'll be doing another hep in Adelaide at the Australian National Champs. So another exciting opportunity to go up against some of the girls that are really putting it up there for Oceania heptathlon. So super pumped to keep going.
And what's the plans for the rest of the year post Aussie Nationals?
Oceanias will be the plan after that, and then hopefully looking to go to France in September for the Decastar heptathlon. That's the tentative plan. Things may change, but we're kind of going with that for now. So super pumped.
Well, congratulations on the 100-metre hurdles win. Second at the New Zealand Championships in the heptathlon this year as well. So a big year, and a big year ahead of you. Brianna Stephenson, our 100-metre hurdles new national champion. Thanks, mate.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you very much.
We cheer.
And so Imogen Skelton, her first miss of the afternoon. The bar is up to 182, so getting into those rarefied air of the 180s. And that is after sharing the lead with Keely O'Hagan with no misses. There's Keely. She is now 1 miss on the board. And
real opportunity for Keely here, isn't it, to try and go clear and to get the count back in her favour, which could be critical.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful vaulting. Still early days in this pole vault competition. The bar is still at 4.17. And I can see Nick Southgate and James Stain have both hinted that they will be in at 5.12. So still a long way to go in that competition. Now, let's have a look. Naomi Waite. This will be a big personal best. Not to be. So she had 2 misses at 178 before going clear. 1 miss at 174. Now Maddie Wilson.
James Hanson of Tasman has the fastest qualifying time. He's in lane 4.
Max Atwell opening up his campaign in the pole vault after a successful day in multiple other events.
Nearest to the stand.
Max, a second time clearance for him.
Keely O'Hagan here with her first attempt at 182.
Oh, beautiful.
Keely's looking really good. She's looking sharp. She's got a best of 189 that she set at the Commonwealth Games, and she looks like she hopefully is in that sort of form.
Yeah, and that puts her in the commanding position of having no misses so far in the competition. Everyone else has got a miss. So she's in pole position. Now, Maddie Wilson has been living very dangerously indeed. Third time clearances at both 174 and 178. She had a great championship last year here, so she loves jumping in Wellington. And of course, in lifetime best at the combined events, but a first time miss at 182.
The worst attempt, though.
So Maddie Wilson's best 186. As we see Toby Martin run through, and that will be the end of his day in the pole vault. So he finishes with a best of 3.97.
Cleo loaded there in the long jump pit. She's currently lying second behind Charlotte Goldsmith, 5.76, which Charlotte's done twice. Cleo's best, 5.11 to date. Just a reminder that Anna Collins, the senior triple jump champion, elected to pass, but I'm not sure if she's going to come in. She's down as passing the first couple of rounds, but she may not enter the competition. Anna Mansurova currently third after running in the 100-metre hurdles under 20. And she's third with 5.09. Here's our leader, Charlotte Goldsmith. Jumped 5.97 at the New Zealand secondary schools.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, it's an intriguing match-up again with Charlotte Goldsmith and Hannah Collins going head-to-head. Silver and gold medalists from the New Zealand secondaries. But Charlotte was, out to 5.99 that weekend.
Red flag this time, unfortunately. Samuel Harris there, just pulling out his latest attempt. 4.37 the bar's at. Jared Neighbours, Toby Martin exiting the competition after clearing 3.97, missing at 4.17.
Imogen, oh yes, great. So that's a clearance at 182. She needed that to stay in the competition. And now the starters for the under-20s, 110 hurdles. The officials have gone around and adjusted all the hurdles, get them ready for the boys. So we've got Reese Evans, Nathan Brown, James Hansen, Joseph Dunn, Connor Brown, Bo Brackenridge. And here we go. It's a good start from James Hansen. And the Aucklander, Joseph Dunn, just next to him. Joseph Dunn has the lead at the moment. Joseph Dunn, Nathan Brown looking good as well. Outside, Connor Brown's going well, and it will be Joseph Dunn for the win. Very, very close.
Between the Browns, one with a knee and one without. Reese Evans has come through for second. Connor Brown third ahead of James Hansen. Might just have to wait for the official result. One came up wrong just a little bit earlier, so we know Joseph Dunn has won, and his time 15.06. Now Connor Brown goes up second. Now Nathan Brown goes up second, so just have to wait for it to adjust accordingly. Nathan Brown second, Connor Brown third.
So Nathan Brown adding to his bronze in the 400 hurdles, in the 110 hurdles. So always great to see the more endurance-focused hurdlers stepping down in distance, stepping up in height.
Samuel Harris.
Final attempt at 4.37. Clatters the bar down, and that'll be his day. He'll finish with a 4.17 best. Now, back to Naomi.
She's not far away, is she, Hayden? She's not far away. She'll finish up here, having won the National Under-20 title earlier in the weekend. Here's Imogen.
And that's a replay of the jump we saw before. So still to come is Maddie Wilson, who we haven't seen her third attempt for 182. She is currently sitting on the ground, and I don't know if Hamish Cura is giving her some instructions. So she has another attempt.
She's needed a third attempt at the last two heights, 174 and 178, but she has successfully made it, and 182 we know is not beyond her.
So that was Leela Favre. And some results for you. This is the under-20s 110 metres that we just saw. Joseph Dunn taking that out, 15.06. It was very close between him, Nathan Brown and Connor Brown. James Hansen just being dipped out of that medal contention, who was the winner of the 400 hurdles earlier in the weekend. So Joseph Dunn taking home the gold medal in the high hurdles. Now, Maddie looks like she has... Oh, here we go. Let's have a little look. Will she get it? She needs it. No, not today. So the silver that she won last year will not be repeated. She finishes in 4th place. Young Naomi Waite picks up the bronze in the senior women's, having less misses on her scorecard.
The bar will go up to 185 for Keely O'Hagan and Imogen Skelton. Keely, Claire, first time both 178, 182 leading the competition.
Right, we're into round 5. This is Chloe Loader in the under-20s long jump.
Pulled out her best in the previous jump of 5 and 23. He's a comfortably second over Anna Mansurova.
And still to come, Charlotte Goldsmith, our competition leader. And no sign of Hannah Collins, so she must have withdrawn from the under-20 long jump.
Having taken the senior triple jump, that's been enough for the day.
Entirely understandable.
Yeah. That was a terrific competition, and she's one of the rising stars of the horizontal jumps, having taken out the New Zealand Secondary Schools competition and taking on the seniors today and winning.
Right, now we'll give you the start list, but we need to head back to Imogen Skelton very soon. So this is the start list for the final of the men's 110. We've got Cameron Moffat, Todd Bradshaw, Tom Maloney, Masaka Tamuka, Josh Hawkins, national record holder, Jack Henry, Toby Martin, Jared Neighbours, but all eyes on the bar. 185, Imogen Skelton. This is her first attempt. Yes! Ooh. There it is. What a way to get herself back in the lead of this competition. Oh my goodness, so 1 miss at 182. She was sitting in 2nd place. Now she moves into 1st, and it is game on. She says to Keely O'Hagan, catch me if you can. You're going to need to clear 185 to reclaim this title. I'm pretty keen to get it. It was 2 years ago that these two had a great battle in the high jump in Hastings, and it was on that occasion that Keely O'Hagan went out to a personal best and qualified for the Commonwealth Games. 188 for Keely to Imogen's 186. Now, this is key. If Keely gets this on her first attempt, she will remain in 1st place. If she misses, she will need to come from behind at later heights. So this is very important in the long-term scheme of this senior women's high jump competition. Oh, no. Right, so now she finds herself behind the 8 ball. She's already hit a season's best with that 182.
Next race on the track will be
Keely has the team in her corner giving her some tips. Terry Lomax just taking her aside.
She was very comfortable over the 182, so it's there. She needs to produce it now and, of course, then get to 188, which is pushing up near her best of 189 that she jumped when 6th at the Commonwealth Games.
So this is round 6 of the women's under-20. Under-20 long jump, and current standings in that long jump competition, still Charlotte Goldsmith out in the lead, 5.76. Then it's Cleo Loader with a 5.23. Anna Mansurova has a 5.09 in 3rd place. Now Alexandra Domansky posted competition best for her, 5.03, and also a personal best, and that moved her up to 4th. Here's Saskia Ryan. She's moved down to 5th place, so she needs at least 5.10 to get up into the medals ahead of Mansurova. So after Saskia, as you can see, I assume that's just walking with spikes on concrete. I don't think she's injured herself or hurt herself. But welcome back, Sarah Cowley-Ross. You've arrived back in perfect time because this is pressure. This is a pressure moment for Keely O'Hagan.
This is a pressure moment for Keely O'Hagan. I watched her first attempt at 185. She's a bit far out for my liking, so she needs to really run strong in the first stages of her run-up and get herself in that same position that she was in on 182 over that clearance. Here she is, Keely O'Hagan. Second attempt, 185.
Oh, no. Maybe a bit of mind games now playing. She's just seen Imogen sail over first time 185, and now it's almost like after a clean sheet. Now, what if you're Terry Lomax? What are you saying? What are you pulling her aside to have a chat about? Because she's going to have what is it? 2 minutes now to reset.
2 minutes is on the clock. And what I would be saying to Keely is, you know what to do. Run, hold the curve, and jump up. But give yourself a chance. You have to have a proper attempt at this.
And I wonder if we can jump back to the long jump with the sixth and final rounds. Now, Anna Mansurova has finished in third place with a 5:09. Saskia Ryan's final jump was a 4.81, so that doesn't improve on her 4.83. And we've got 2 jumps to go from Cleo and Charlotte. So we'll catch up with those once we've completed this stacked 110 senior men's hurdles. All eyes on lane 5, the Auckland singlet of Josh Hawkins. And we're away nice and cleanly. Josh got a good start, but he's hit that first hurdle. He's hit the second one. Now, he's still clipping it. Tamuka next to him, but Josh Hawkins now up to speed. Tamuka looking good. Henry looking good. Josh Hawkins will win. It was ragged, but he wins. It's another national title. The 2 Canterbury boys, Tamuka and Henry, pick up the minor medals, but Hawkins, he had his work cut out for him. My goodness, look at this.
He made it hard for himself, clipping all those hurdles. Josh Hawkins, he's run some clean races this season, and when he has, he's hit the times he wanted to hit. But today...
You could... Sorry to interrupt. You can see in that middle stage he finally got some clean running and was able to just accelerate away from the other 2 Canterbury boys. Now, Jared Neighbours, that was just after he did a dive roll, and he's still finishing a reasonably good time.
I'm looking back at the start of the 100-metre hurdles, and it's absolute carnage, but our focus now turns to Keely O'Hagan. Third attempt, 185. Needs this to stay in the competition.
Absolutely crucial here. Keely O'Hagan, she won 2 years ago. Our Commonwealth Games representative, her personal best is 189. Can she produce a season's best here and stay in the competition? 185, yes! Yes, Keely punches the air. Woo, yeah.
We've got a competition.
We have a competition, boy oh boy. So Imogen Skelton still holds the lead because she's clean first attempt over 185. But Keely, more importantly, is moving upwards. She
gets a hug from Skelton.
So the new height will be 188.
188, and that's the kind of run-up that Keely needs to do to stay in this competition. Now, both of these girls, the conditions are excellent. This is a height for the taking.
Now look at Imogen. You can see her just a big sort of sigh, because this is going to have to be a PB. Her PB stands at 187. She's looking up for the challenge, and she's skipping along.
You know, she jumped that 185, and I saw her come back to her gear bag and just said, "Love high jump."
That's what we love to hear. Beautiful. So there's the results of the boys in the 110 hurdles. Josh Hawkins, it was a ragged start, but he hung on and managed to pick up yet another national title. He's clocking them up. And with the bar here, I believe at 4:57, we're starting to get towards the point where we'll see the big boys enter the competition. But that was Charlie Cameron. Right, so this exciting high jump competition has just lifted to another level, literally and figuratively, because we're up at 188. And remember back in Hastings 2 years ago, this was the height that Keely managed to snatch the win from the grasp of Imogen Skelton. Imogen will have this in her mind back at Newtown Park in Hastings, thinking, I had a national title right there, and Keely snatched it from me. Can I claim this one? Here we go, first attempt. Oh, well, that was a good attempt. Remember, this is personal best height. The highest she's cleared is 187. That was a first good look at it. And if no one clears this height, as we see Max Atwell on the runway, go for 457. If no one clears this height, it will remain Imogen Skelton, the victor. So it's all on Keely to get a clearance at 188. But wouldn't it be great to see at least one of these women clear 188? And if you're wondering what the Paris standard is, 197, if you can believe that, 197. They set those standards very high, of course, so for these two ladies, you would be looking at getting points, accumulating points throughout the year, and there's a lot of points on offer at your own national championships, particularly if you're jumping high jumps. So that's the other plot at play here, is there's good points up for grabs looking forward to Paris, but I don't think Keely will be thinking about anything else other than that bar set at 188 right now. Here she is, Keely O'Hagan, first attempt, and it was a good one. A big gasp from the crowd because they saw her torso fly over and then her legs just bringing it down. Now Sarah Cowley-Ross has managed to track down Josh Hawkins, winner of the 110 hurdles right now.
Well, I've got Josh Hawkins here, winner of the 110-metre hurdles. Josh, 9th national title. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's awesome to come out to nationals again and compete. First time having heats in the 110 in like a very, very long time, at least since as long I've been doing it. But yeah, awesome.
Awesome, all right. Now, you ran a heat, and then you came back for the final. 14:03, you happy with that time?
Yeah, I'm super happy with that. It's probably I've been running really, really consistently this season, so 14, I'm happy with it. I would have loved to have gone under 14, but hey, I'll take it.
You did go under 14 at the ITM, 13:93, setting a resident record this season. You've had a great season. We love seeing you clear those hurdles, but you did hit a few today.
Yeah, didn't really clear them as such today, but I'm happy with how my season's gone. A lot of challenges throughout the last year, but yeah, I'm just happy to come out here and just compete.
Well, we're happy to see you. Now the question is, you're on your 9th. Will we see 10?
Hopefully, if the body holds up, I'll be here next year.
Well, there was a definite nod before we got the answer. But Josh Hawkins, winner of the 110-metre hurdles at the New Zealand National Track and Field Championships. Let's go back to this high jump.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you. Good job, mate.
New Zealand record holder there and 9-time champion in the 110 hurdles. We're back with this exciting, intriguing high jump competition, a repeat of 2 years ago. Imogen Skelton, Keely O'Hagan going head to head. And if you're wondering what unplayed last year, it was actually Alice Taylor and Maddie Wilson. And Alice Taylor took it out with a wonderful clearance of 187. She's now based over in the States. Maddie Wilson, we lost her earlier in the competition in 4th place. But Keely and Imogen going head to head. Here we look at a good clearance. Yes. Charlie Cameron, final attempt at 4:57, successful. Now, Keely O'Hagan, as we welcome Sarah Cowley-Ross puffing after sprinting up the grandstand. Right, attempt number 2. The bar at 188. Here she goes. Oh! Oh, it was just a whisker. It was just a touch on the bar. We saw one side just come off the uprights. My goodness, that was close.
Very close. Her first attempt was very good, actually. But that, she just needs to tidy up her rotation over the bar. But I'm loving seeing Keely have a go and put herself in the position where she could potentially clear the bar as we go to this under 2200 final.
Yeah, under 2200 metre final, right in the middle of the track. Adira Collette, she's running really well. She's got the lead coming into the home straight. Amelia Fairclough is looking strong as well. Can that 400 speed come through over the last 50 metres? It's going to be Adira Collette from Fairclough. Fitty is in third. Adira Collette takes out the under 200 metre title after a silver medal yesterday in the 100. Fantastic running from the woman in the arm brace. And she goes and embraces her opposition. Fantastic running in the warm sunshine into a little headwind as they're coming down that home straight. So 24.64 is the time. 0.7 was that headwind. Emily Fairclough in second, Michaela Fitty in first. Adira Collette takes the win now. Final attempt for Imogen. Here she comes, 188. She... Oh, so close again. All of these ladies giving this a good go now. She finishes her competition at the moment in first. Now it's all on Keely. Keely has the opportunity to right this competition and put herself in first.
So that's Max Atwell. He's over at the pole vault. Now, Imogen, that was uncharted waters for her at 188. But Keely has cleared this height before. Not in a while, but she is in great shape in this competition. Hadaway stuttered there at 185, but her first 2 attempts at 188. This is her title now for the taking. What will she do?
Talk about pressure moments. We've seen on multiple occasions athletes just rising to the challenge, particularly in the jumps this weekend. We've seen many 6-round horizontal jumps that have gone on to win. And now Keely trying to settle the mind, get herself in the right space. Think about every little process that needs to happen. The run-up, the turn, the jump. She gets the crowd behind her. She's got a big crowd on the embankment just to her right. All smiles, head in the right place. Can she get the body in the right place? Over the bar. 188. This is for the win. This is for the national title. It was close, but it's not to be. It's a reversal of the order from 2 years ago. Imogen Skelton will take home her first national title in the senior women's high jump. Keely O'Hagan, well, she's back in shape. She will finish in the silver medal position. Naomi White, the youngster stepping up, will take the bronze.
Max Atwell at the pole vault.
Oh, that was a good attempt, a 4.77.
All right,
first attempt for him.
I'll keep doing my interval training and head back down to get Imogen Skelton.
Interviews. Why don't you grab both of them? I'd love to hear how both of them found that competition, because it was great entertainment from our point of view. Keely O'Hagan injecting serious life into that competition with a third-time clearance at 185. And Imogen Skelton jumping out of her skin to win a national title. Wonderful. Now we can see the under-20 boys getting ready for the final of the under-20 200 metres. And the interesting battle of the 100 boys stepping up in distance and the 400 boys stepping down. So we've got Kahurangi Cotterill, who took out the 400 metres. He'll be running in lane 4. And then we've got Caden Taylor on lane 6. He's the 100-metre champion. And AJ Madondo running in lane 5, right in the middle of the 3. He's the silver medalist in the 100 metres. So what a matchup in this under-20 final.
It's going to be fantastic. Lanes 4, 5 and 6, and of course they all were able to cruise through the heats this morning, so we weren't able to take much from that, but it's all out this afternoon and a pretty decent time on offer, you'd think.
It really is, as we see Charlie Cameron on the runway for the second time, looking at the bar at 4.77. Now remember, Charlie and Max had third time clearances at 4.57. So these boys looking to stay in the competition, fully aware that Nick Southgate and James Stain are not going to bother opening until 5.12, but this could well be a jump off for at least a bronze, and that won't do for Charlie Cameron, the winner of multiple junior titles. Charlie Cameron picking up a bronze back in 2021 in the senior men's. So, a lot going on here at the track. We're awaiting the start of the under-20s 200 metres. That's the men. And then after that, we've got the senior women's, senior men's 200 metre final. That senior women's race in particular, really, really stacked. And not to mention the 200 metre boys with the likes of Lex Revel-Lewis going up against Tommy Tapuni, Cody Wilson. That is going to be one to watch, so don't go anywhere.
Got a men's javelin coming up too, the senior men. They're going to kick off, or throw off, at 2 o'clock. That's been announced to the crowd as we head back to see Max Atwell on the pole vault runway.
4.77 is the height. This is his second attempt. Yes! Oh! Just clipping it with the arm on the way down. He had the height. He had the projection over the bar, and it was just clipping it with the arm. Often with the vaulters, you'll see here on the release of the pole, so goes up and then just releasing with that right hand, a little bit late on that release, trying to get as much vertical lift as possible. Just left it a little bit too late and takes down the pole. Now, the final of the under-20s 200 metres, we've got Dolphin, Tapuni, Yonito, Wilson, Lex Revel-Lewis, Liva, Saunders, Rogers. A great start out on the outside by Lex Revel-Lewis. He has the lead at the moment.
Got the under-20s here, Hayden. So,
sorry.
Yeah, so you've got Caden Taylor here, AJ Madondo, and down the outside, Arian Willange.
Okay, Madondo, Taylor, it's going to be Caden Taylor. Woo! Takes it. Thank you for getting me onto the right start list. I was all over the show with that one. But Madondo had to push Caden Taylor all the way down that last home straight, and Caden Taylor takes it out. He takes the national title and picks up the PB as well.
21.58, AJ Madondo 21.67, Arian Willange 22.14, running in the outside lane was a really good effort. Take bronze ahead of Kaharangi Cottrell. Really competitive grade, the men's under 20.
So Caden Taylor adding to his 100 metre win. AJ Madondo, as he was in the 100, in silver medal position. Kaharangi Cottrell, the 400 metre champion, this time out of the medals in the 200.
Just saw Charlie Cameron miss at the pole. That was his third and final at 4.77. Max Atwell still, though, with one more attempt. Going to head down to Sarah Cowley-Ross in the aftermath of the senior women's high jump.
Well, I've got the winner of the senior women's high jump here, Imogen Skelton, all smiles, first national title. Congratulations, you must be stoked.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
How did that 85 feel, first of all?
It was just so exciting. I mean, I knew that those heights were there, and I had a little bit of a wobble at 82, so yeah, I really just had to refocus, just clear my mind, and then it was so good to get that first attempt.
Now, you've had a great season, a personal best at the ITM 187, uncharted waters for you today at 188, but certainly great promising signs for the future.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit frustrated that I didn't get the 88 because I know it was definitely there, but still, like, you can't complain with attempting a PB, so yeah, just really happy to be up in those big heights.
And awesome to have Keely and you both over 85 today. What's it like having someone there to push you in those later stages of a competition?
Yeah, it's so awesome. The level of women's high jump is really good at the moment. We've got obviously Maddie as well, and Naomi, who just jumped 180 the other day. So yeah, it's so good to have people to push you in New Zealand.
Now, what's next for you, Imogen?
Well, I'm taking a bit of a break now. Hopefully Oceania's later in the year, and then just big winter block building up for next season.
Now, this is obviously the track you grew up jumping in Wellington. You had a time in Auckland, but you're back here in Wellington. Just a mention to your team.
So I've got quite a few people who have all been involved in this performance. So my coaches, Kieran McKee and Mike Ritchie, and also strength and conditioning with Angus Ross. So but huge thanks to all three of them for helping me so much with my jumping, and also to the other high jump coaches like Terry and Ed, who are often there at competitions kind of helping out as well. So it's so good to have like all the coaches in New Zealand collaborating and helping with all the athletes. So yeah, it's been great.
Well, it's a wonderful community, and you know, we've got Hamish Kerr over there on the fence. How inspiring was that performance at World Indoors for you as a high jumper?
Yeah, it's incredible. It's so amazing to have Hamish out there like showing us what Kiwis can do on the world stage. So and I've kind of watched Hamish progress as I've grown up as well. So it's been amazing to have him to look up to.
Well, it was you showing us the way today. So Imogen Skelton, congratulations, your first national title, 185 today. We look forward to watching you in the future. Back to you guys upstairs.
And first look at the pole vault. Nick Southgate just has a little look at the bar at 5:12, but misses. And this is the start list for the 200 metres. The highly anticipated senior women's final. Danielle Golderman, Sarah Pearce, Jordan Blake, Cameron Smart, Georgia Hulls, Rosie Elliott, Brooke Summerfield, Portia Bing. You've got the national record holder, Rosie Elliott, up against Georgia Hulls, number 2. As we see James Stain getting ready for his first jump. You've got Brooke Summerfield, who's been in great form. Portia Bing, of course, who won the 400, got bronze in the 100. And then you've got Cameron Smart, Jordan Blake. It's an absolute stacked 200-metre final. But let's have a look at James Stain. First attempt. Now, this could be important because we've seen Nick Southgate miss early. Oh, well, he's over, but came down right on the bar. And that means it is it's neck and neck for these two. Now, as a little summary of what's happened, sorry, Mark, Max Atwell and Charlie Cameron were both jumping for 4.77. They both missed at 4.77, which means that Charlie Cameron on countback is in the first position right now, but it could well most likely become the bronze medal position if those two boys get a mark on the board.
Masaki Tamuka in the Javelin. The reigning champion, youngster Do Botes, has 58.53 and a comfortable lead very early on in this men's senior Javelin. It's 5.12, it's a pretty decent height to come in at, I've got to say, Hayden.
It is?
Yeah, I mean, you clear 5.12, you're pretty happy, right? And we know these boys can go beyond that. They can go looking to 5.50 for James Stain. Nick Southgate is now based in Western Australia, and he's been vaulting really well, but I thought 5.12 was quite a height to come in at, but we'd expect them to clear it their second attempt.
Yeah, and it's probably a sign of just how they're feeling and feeling confident about life and their fitness. So we see Caleb Soller, first throw for him, that sails out beyond 50 metres. But yeah, with first 2 misses, you sort of do ask yourself that question. Maybe a little confidence booster in the late 4s could have been a wise idea, but nevertheless, Nick Southgate, here he is. He had a look at 5.12 and ducked under. Fortunately for him, James Stein did not clear first time. Right, second attempt, 5.12 for Nick Southgate. Oh, well, he'll need to make some tweaks. So these guys going into a headwind, but it's quite swirly at that end of the ground. So it's certainly challenging conditions. And now under starters orders is the 200 metres, the final of the senior women's. We've got Danielle Golderman, Sarah Pearce, Jordan Blake, Cameron Smart, Georgia Hulls, Rosie Elliott, Brooke Summerfield, and Portia Bing.
Portia and Rosie in the same heat, and they strolled up the lane together this morning. Rosie, the national record holder, of course, but Georgia Hulls, the defending champion, and Portia just in a hot form on the flat. 100, 200, 400 doesn't matter at the moment with Portia.
And they're away in the final of the 200 metres. The senior woman, and a great start there from Georgia Hulls. She's already making up a lot of that ground on the bend. Georgia Hulls in the lead, clearly in the lead. Brooke Summerfield in second now. Portia Bing gets up to speed. Portia Bing challenging. Here comes Rosie Elliott. Georgia Hulls is in the lead. Georgia Hulls is going to take it. It's going to be close for silver. Georgia Hulls feeling great, feeling amazing in the 200 metres. Rosie Elliott took a long time to get up to speed, but Georgia Hulls ran a wonderful bend, and then it was a matter of just maintaining and holding off this quality field of women behind her. That's a 23:24. My goodness, very, very quick time in the low 23s. Rosie Elliott has been given second place, 23:77 ahead of Brooke Summerfield, 23:85. Portia Bing just outside of the medals, and well, that means that treble that Portia Bing was going for, of getting the 100, 400 and 200 medals, just edged out of those medals. But Summerfield in third, Elliott second, Hulls first.
Rosie, of course, stepping back from the 400 that she concentrated on last season, and she ran through the line like a 400-metre runner. Georgia Hulls, 2-time World Championship representative for New Zealand, takes her 4th consecutive 200-metre title. We're going to head back down to Sarah Cowley-Ross, and this time she's caught up with Keely O'Hagan.
Well, I've got Keely O'Hagan here, second today on countback, 185, but some amazing attempts at 188.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how today went. I've been coming back from a little injury the last couple of months, and so I knew that it was in me, and I'm a little bit disappointed in myself because I know that I had the 88 and higher, but at the end of the day, it was a great competition, and Imogen jumped amazing.
She did jump amazing, Keely, and the two of you, though, it was so great to see you both jumping so aggressively and positively at 88. What's coming up for you? Because you just seem to be hitting your straps at the right time.
So I'm off to Sydney next week, and then that's the end of my season, knuckling down for about 5 weeks. Then I'm going to head off to Europe for Oceanias.
Brilliant. Well, congratulations on the silver medal today, but more so congratulations on the way you jumped, because I think that you should be so proud of that. Keely O'Hagan, silver in the women's high jump, 185 today at Newtown Park.
Well, those girls put on an absolute show in the high jump. Now, struggling a little bit in the pole vault are the two boys, because James Stein and Nick Southgate have both missed at their second attempts at 5.12, so they've got no marks on the board. So these are absolutely crucial in order to stay in the competition, or get into the competition, because right now Charlie Cameron is looking on, thinking I could become national champion very shortly. Nick Southgate, final attempt at 5.12. He needs this. No! Not to be. So Nick Southgate, he's had a great summer, but he's not going to get another national title. Not this year. And that means Charlie Cameron has at least a silver. James Stain still to come.
One will be Joe Dolphin of Auckland.
And Max Atwell thought he was out of it, but now he's very much a chance. Well, he'll pick up bronze with Nick dipping out, and perhaps a case in terms of coming in at 5:12 was there perhaps some mind games that the two key players, Nick and James, looking at each other.
Possibly,
who blinks first?
And we've got to think, this competition started, was it 12:30? It started way back at 12:30, and we're 10 past 2. So they were warming up 2 hours ago, which is incredibly difficult to stand around waiting for your chance to vault. And then, unfortunately for Nick Southgate, has missed. So we have Sarah Carley-Ross with Georgia Hulls, who's claimed yet another 200 metre title and looks pretty happy. So, James Stain, we'll get to Georgia very soon, but James Stain needs this for the national title.
Jared Neighbours throwing the senior men's javelin. He's lying second at the moment, 53 and 51. Dobote's improved to 63 in his second throw as they get to the marks for the 200 metre final. Senior men. Taking their marks in the 200 metres. Senior men's final.
So the field, Joe Dolphin, Tommy Tapuni, Yonito Wilson, Lex Rebel Lewis, Angus Liver, Zach Saunders, Jackson Rogers. They're coming off the bend now and in the lead. Cody Wilson, the Wellingtonian on his home turf. Now responding, Lex Rebel Lewis.
Look at Alex
Angus Liver coming up. Angus Liver is going to take it out of nowhere. Slingshotting off the bend. The Cantabrian had Lex Rebel Lewis to pull him along. And he swung wide into a national title for Angus Liver.
21.09 for Angus Liver. He is in great shape across a number of disciplines. At the moment, we've seen him busy here. He fouled the first 2 rounds of the javelin, shot across to the 200 and shot down the straight.
Cody Wilson, the bronze medalist in the 100 metres, just started to fatigue here. And it was Lex Rebel Lewis and Angus Liver being able to key off each other. You can see that wry smile from Lex saying, I was close to the 400-200 double. Now, James Stain, what have we got? Last attempt at 5:12. He needs this for the national title. There it is. He's your national champion. And that was to get into the competition, and it was also to win it. And right when he needed to, final attempt, he does it. He's your national champion, so that confirms the boys behind him. Charlie Cameron will finish with a silver. Max Atwell with a bronze. Nick Southgate, unfortunately, no marking at 5:12.
So we're going to head out now where Sarah Carley-Ross has caught up with Georgia Hulls, the winner of the 200 metre senior women.
Right, well, I have got jubilant Georgia Hulls, senior women's 200 metre champion. Congratulations, Georgia. How do you feel after that?
A bit more tired than I probably should be after 200, but yeah, I feel pretty good.
So you just said it's your 4th national title. I did listen to that correctly. But 23-24, so that's a good outing for you today.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying to Steve earlier, like I was trying not to look at the times today and get back to enjoying racing and running fast and just trying really hard, I guess, and I feel like I did that, and that's not a shabby time.
not a shabby time as well. Last night in the relay, I saw you in action. I know it's important for you to get out in the Hawke's Bay Gisborne colours. And did you enjoy the relay last night as well?
Yeah, I always enjoy a relay, and I like representing Hawke's Bay, and I feel like we had good girls and it was a lot of fun. I feel like the whole culture last night for all the teams was pretty cool, so yeah, would recommend next year.
Well, it was a stacked field in that women's 200, but you were the clear winner. What's next for you this season?
So that's a great question. I know for sure I'm going to Aussie Champs, which is mid-April. I might look at racing once before then if there is anything. But yeah, onwards to Aussie Champs and Oceanias, and hopefully further on than that.
Well, our national champion in the 200 metres today, Georgia Hells. Back to you guys upstairs.
Brilliant result from Georgia Hells. So the men in the 200 metres, it was Angus Liver finishing 21.09, Lex Revel Lewis 21.19, Tommy Tapuni 21.27. Quick times. And that battle between Tommy Tapuni and Lex Revel Lewis, can't wait to see them line up next summer in a 400 together. We kind of missed that opportunity this year to a large degree, with Tommy Tapuni suffering from a bit of a hamstring niggle mid-season. But James Stein is breathing a sigh of relief because he's just secured his 4th national title. He was on the cusp of exiting the competition with no height, but he stays in. He's alive and well, and we are into round 3 in this javelin competition as Do Bota gets that javelin out around the 60-metre mark, maybe just over. He is leading the competition 63-63. Jared Neighbours in second with a 53-51, and Caleb Sola 51-70.
He's a young man, Doe, and he's got it all ahead of him. He's thrown beyond the World Under-20 Championships performance standard with a 68-62 at the ITM meeting. Be looking to get up towards that today as we head back to James Stein, staying in the competition by, well, comfortably in the end, but it was his 3rd attempt at 5.12. Now he's at 5.27.
Probably not the way he envisioned to start his outing at the pole vault here, but 5.27 is on the bar. Has a good look at it. I think just the feet on the way up, taking it down, thinking that there's probably just a couple of small tweaks he can make to that approach. Masaki Tomuka sitting in 4th place. He needs to improve a little to get closer to Caleb Sola, who's in the bronze medal position.
Angus Liver's just trotted over there to grab another javelin after taking out the 200. That was a sensational performance from him. He looked really good in the 4x1 when we saw him yesterday. Just looked really sharp, and he's been across a number of disciplines this weekend, but his sprinting is in its best ever shape.
And of course he won the under-20 200 metre title last year, so it's great to see when someone just turns 20 and then comes up to the senior ranks and nabs the senior title. That'll mean a lot to him, and will cap off a great weekend. But I'm sure he'll get the call up for the 4x4 team, which is to come. As always, we finish the weekend with the 4x4s, and we go back to the javelin to see Caleb Sola. And we'll be able to roll through this javelin competition reasonably quickly because there's just 5 athletes taking part, with Angus Liver listed, but yet to throw. And he needs to kind of hurry over if he is going to throw. And is that him lining up now?
No, it's not.
It's Jared Neighbours.
Yeah, he's over in the background and he's swinging his arm around, so he's like he's warming up. Both arms going now. He's over by the tent there.
That's awesome, isn't it?
Here he is.
Here he goes. Just recovered from winning a national senior title in the 200, and then he's able to just sneak through to the javelin and throw a 3rd round throw. So he needs some sort of mark. He could throw it 2 metres and stay in the competition. He's just kind of warming up his shoulder. This is classic. He's got some strapping on it. So he obviously had to run the 200 with the shoulder strapping, which most likely is for his throwing arm in the javelin.
And of course, thanks to our sponsors, especially Jennian Homes.
Now, Jared Neighbours has had a busy old day. He finished 8th in the 110 hurdles after he did a dive roll after the 10th hurdle and crossed the line in 8th place. He got 4th in the senior discus with a 47.22, 13th in the senior shot yesterday. Right now he's sitting in 2nd. He'd dearly love to go home with a medal in one of his many events. Here he goes, Jared Neighbours. Round 3. Yes, that's over 50 metres. The best 53.
Solid effort from Jared. Just not sure we're getting the updates on the javelin lately. Seems to have stalled after 2 rounds there, but hopefully that'll update soon. We get a rough idea here within the ballpark, so to speak, of where the javelin lands, but the exact measurements obviously are the key. As James Stain is back. Here's Angus Leiber, javelin in hand, and about to launch across the track and down the runway here for the javelin, prior to the first of the 4x400s getting underway, which will complete our track championships. Here's Angus. And he's got one out there beyond the 40-metre mark to register on the board and continue in the competition. I'm sure he's on a 200-metre high right now as James Stain attacks 5:27 for the second time, but goes under the bar. So there's one more attempt remaining. One clearance at 5:12. That's been good enough for gold. Charlie Cameron taking silver, 4:57 on countback ahead of Max Atwell, who also got over 4:57. And of course, I have to mention, unfortunately, Nick Southgate, he entered at 5:12, but no clearance there. So out of the medals. So we've got our medalists. Just a question of James Stain completing the competition. One more attempt at 5:27.
You can see everyone all smiles at this stage in the weekend. A lot of these athletes have completed their weekend, and now it's just a matter of the 4x4s still to come. So that will round out the action on the track.
And good opportunity while we get ready for these 4x4s, and the only people who aren't smiling at this stage of the day are the ones who have to run a 400 metres in the 4x4, but we've got 5 of them coming up so far. And Hayden, these meetings don't go ahead without volunteers, people who give up their time across 4 days if they can, and we have to say a big congratulations to them, and thank you for another successful meeting. National Championships here, sponsored by Jennian Homes. And if people think, hey, this is a great way to get up close to some world-class athletes, what do? Just get in touch with their local athletic club?
Absolutely, and the Athletics New Zealand does a wonderful job of training up officials, and it's a great thing, if you are retired from the sport as well, to stay in the sport, either through coaching or helping out with volunteering or officiating. And, the likes of Trevor Spittle and those other top officials that we've got, they go to world levels. So there's lots of opportunity, not just domestically, but also to take your officiating locally. So a massive thank you to all the mahi that all of our volunteers and officials have done. You guys, we can't do this without you, and you guys and girls are absolute legends. So thank you for the last 4 days of your work. Now, let's turn to the under-18s 4x4. We've got Waikato Bay of Plenty, we've got Wellington, we've got Auckland, and we've got a French Polynesian team. They're running on the outside
James Stain. Wind's getting a bit swirly here. It's certainly getting a bit cooler too with cloud cover.
So final attempt, he goes up, he goes down, but he's national champion. He claps. He had to sit around for about an hour and a half before he got a time to vault. In that time, the wind had changed direction, the temperature had changed. Him and Nick Southgate had cooled down after their warm-up, but nevertheless, he managed to get a mark on the board, and he finishes in the lead, goes on to get a congratulations from Nick, who will leave disappointed not getting a mark. But James Stain, 4-time national champion in the pole vault.
Exceptional stuff. Just before this relay, quick update, I think, on the Javelin with Do Bota at 63-63 still leading. Looks like Masaki Tamuka's called it a day. He's passed his last 3. He was settling back. He was back in 4th place, 48.51 and about 5 metres off Caleb Solar, who's in 3rd, 53.23. Jared Neighbours currently 2nd, 53 and 51. Angus Liver posted 41.24, and this is him with his 4th round throw, the 200 metre champion, and he's thrown well there. That's better than the first one, up around 50 metres as they take their marks in the first of our 4x400 metre relays.
And we're away. We've got Waikato Bay of Plenty on the inside. Then it is Wellington and Auckland and the French Polynesian team on the outside. So 4 teams taking part in this 4x400. So they start in the lanes. Looks like Auckland's off to a good start with Ford in lane 6 and already making up that stagger on the French Polynesian athlete Ayat. Kilmeister of Wellington is also running well, as is Rattray, sitting on the inside in lane 3 wearing the Waikato Bay of Plenty colours. But it is Ford who's going to bring the team into the lead. But a good strong finish here from Rattray.
Wellington are not far away. They make the change. Remember, they've still got some curve left.
So Waikato Bay of Plenty make the change in the lead, you would think, and handing off to Potawera, who's had a good weekend.
Zara Rattray really ran that last 100 impressively there to make up that ground.
So as they come out of their lanes and merge into lane 1, it is Waikato Bay of Plenty, Auckland, Wellington, and then French Polynesia. The Aucklander just tucking in behind Potawera.
So Nina Chalmers, I think, there lying 2nd. It's always a fascinating contest, this, coming at the end of the meeting, and of course got to find 4 people to run the 400 for you. So you've got some that are quite comfortable with it, others that are happier over much shorter distances, and other ones that have to do the gut buster, and others, of course, that run the longer distance and drop back.
Bo Ritchie, speaking of longer distances, we've got the 800, 1500 champ handing the baton on for Waikato Bay of Plenty. So she'll be looking to add to her wonderful weekend. She's off. She is absolutely off. She's saying to herself, let's just get this weekend over and done with. I've run many laps of this track, and I'm going to make this one my fastest.
She was in the 4x1 team as well, so just outstanding servant to the squad. Here is Bo Ritchie, and another great finishing kick to take that 1500, replicating what she did in the 800 earlier.
So Haynes of Auckland about 30 metres behind a flying Bo Ritchie, and then it's about another 50 metres back to the Wellington team with Wade, their 3rd runner, and then it's only about 10 metres back to the French Polynesian team, Lerena, there in 4th place. But Bo Ritchie, she's run a fantastic 3rd leg. She's going to hand off to Fawcett for the final leg. What has she got over this final 400?
Holly Fawcett, good strong 800 metre win, so she'll be good, and she's got a big break too. Just has to cling to the baton now with a handy lead going into the back straight.
Holly Fawcett, the 800 metre under 18 champion, finds herself in the lead. Here she is, 200 metres to go. Holly Fawcett has the Waikato Bay of Plenty team with a commanding lead over Auckland, and Auckland has a massive lead over the third and fourth position, French Polynesia has moved up past the Wellington team. But it is all about Waikato Bay of Plenty. They've put together a great under-18 4x4 team here. Big smile on her face, Holly Fawcett. She's going to add a team gold to her 800 gold and her 400 silver. Auckland pick up silver medal. And in third place, it's going to be the French Polynesian team. Gilroy anchoring that team to a brilliant finish.
And Juliet Moorhead anchoring the Wellington team, and good on her because she collected a chase barrier in the 2K steeplechase the other day, so great to see her back out and able to run.
And that's what relays are all about, isn't it? That team dynamic. These girls most likely will have travelled together and know each other really well, and they pushed each other to a wonderful third place. So a massive bonjour to our listeners in French Polynesia. Great to have you tuned in. And James Stain is with Sarah Cowley-Ross, our national champion in the pole vault.
Thank you, James.
Here we have James Stain, the victor in the men's pole vault today. James, probably not the height you wanted, 5'12", but a national title. Congratulations. How does it feel?
It feels good. It feels good. Not the height that I wanted, absolutely, but, coming down to Wellington, it's a little bit variable at times, and 12 is good. It's fine.
Now, just before this interview started, not only did I see you go and shake every official's hands and the volunteers, but you also stopped your stopwatch. Can you tell me what that's about?
Well, thanking the officials is appreciating the work they've put in over the weekend, because it's 4 days of carnage. I stopped my watch because I'm tracking my average heart rate and heart rate variability through my competition, just to look after my body.
And how was that heart rate today?
Really, really high. 186 at one point, and I only ran 40 metres down the track. Yeah.
You have had a busy weekend, though. You are coaching a number of pole vaulters. Mm-hmm. How has your squad gone over the weekend?
They've gone really well. We had a bronze medal in the senior women. We had an under-18 and under-20 title. I think it's 4 medals for my crew, which has been pretty special. 2 massive PBs from Milana and Elaine, my younger ones. So I'm really happy. It's been a great weekend.
A busy one. Another national title in the bag for you. What's next, or what's coming up for you in your season?
It's a good question. I'm still yet to make a decision. I'll be going over to Australia to coach at the very least. I'm pretty sure I'll try to compete over there as well. Then we'll shut down and get ready for probably 2 or 3 months in Europe.
Brilliant. Well, congratulations, James. Another national title. No one can take that away from you. James Stain, national pole vault title holder and champion for 2024.
All right, we have one more event going in the field, and that is the men's javelin, and we're in the latter stages of round 5. Here's Caleb Soller. He's sitting in the bronze medal position, but he's a hunted man because Angus Liver has entered the competition and opened with a 41.24, just a loosener, but now in round 5, 51.18. He is not too far from Caleb Soller. Could we see the recently crowned 200-metre champ also pick up a medal in the javelin just moments later? Jared Neighbours is sitting in second place, 53.51, so not too far ahead of Caleb Soller, but Dol Bota has the commanding lead out to 63.63, the reigning champ. He would love to retain his title, and at the moment the boys will have their work cut out for them to chase them down.
Seems like Angus Liver likes to finish everything strongly, Hayden, and he certainly is here in the javelin, because after those fouls, 41.24 just to get on the board, 49.89, 51.18 as you say in that previous, and we'll see what he can get out there in round number 6. 1 left to go in round 5. That is our leader, and he'll be throwing shortly. That bank at steep, there's a couple of kids there, they're trying to hang in there with an ice cream as well. That's a dangerous game. 4x400s to wrap up the program. Next up we have the under 20s out there.
Yeah, just going through their starts and their strides, getting ready to roll. Now, we're told we've got 4 teams lining up, but I can only see 2 teams, and it looks like that might be Wellington and Canterbury. So the fields have been whittled down somewhat. Maybe some of the team already heading home.
It's under 18 too. I said under 20, but I'm one ahead of myself. So men's under 18, of course. And we will get to see here Hunter Scott. And he's going to lead out. And he did the 100, 200, 400 treble, which is an outstanding performance.
That is incredible. That's one of those weekends that you're training in your winter months thinking, oh, maybe I could medal in one of them, and then to come to Wellington and not only medal in one of them but to win all 3 events. That is a really absolute domination of the under 18 sprints. So the final stages of this Javelin competition, and we're underway in the 4x400s. This is the under 18s. Just 2 teams to look at. So it's the home team, the Wellington boys, up against the Canterbury boys. So we've got Robertson opening up for Wellington and Scott for Canterbury. Canterbury just taking a bit of an advantage in the early stages, running just on the inside of Wellington.
I just checked to see if he was in the long jump. I'm not sure what his long jumping's like, but he wasn't. I just wondered whether he might be a young Kiwi version of Carl Lewis, but he's certainly running a very good first 400 metres, as you would expect from the under-18 national champion, to take Canterbury to a lead at the first change.
So Hunter Scott looking a little bit weary, as you'd expect, but he's still clocked something like 50 seconds for the 400. He crouches down, takes a little rest, hands off to Saul Barbosa. And Canterbury getting a handy lead, about 15 metres ahead of Wellington now as they go past those little tennis balls. That's the merge marker, so for anyone running a 4x4 or an 800, look for those little markers before you get out of your lanes. And now they're running on the rail.
And it's a strong-looking team on paper for Canterbury, and Samuel Barbosa is the second runner of those. Waiting down here to take the baton for Wellington is Jag Willers, so we get one last look at the horsetail hairdo.
Yeah, absolutely, and he'll be up against Harry Williams, the 300-metre hurdles champion. Was it 400 metres at that distance? Yeah, it is 300-metre hurdles. Also the silver medalist from the 110 hurdles. So Harry Williamson out the front, pulling away from Jag Willers. But Jag Willers is determined, and I heard he prefers to refer to the mullet as a horsetail. Not so much of a mullet. So you can see it's shaped... shaved somewhat, just almost like an undercut mullet. Love it. Absolutely love it. But it is Harry Williamson leading his Canterbury team with about 60-metre lead, and he will hand off to Lang to bring the team home. Jag Willers,
2,000-metre steeplechase champion, under 18, so he's got a title in the bag, but Wellington going to have to settle for second in this.
Yeah, I can't see them pulling this back. It's 50 metres, and Canterbury always send quality relay teams to these events. And here they come. The Canterbury team are going to take out the gold. We'll very shortly bring you an update on what's been unfolding in the 6th round at the Javelin, because I can tell you a lot has happened. All right, Canterbury take the gold, and here comes Wellington. They get a good clap from their home team. Of course, Wellington, having hosted this event for the last 2 years, will say farewell to the event as it heads down to Dunedin for next year. If you think you're trying to wrap up and stay warm here, you wait for 12 months' time when we're down in Dunedin. But here we go, back to the javelin. This is your champion in the 6th round. He's thrown a 63-63. Dormota just heaves that javelin out into the Newtown Park sky. It's gone well beyond 60 metres. He's your reigning champion. He will be your 2-time national champion. And we have to talk about what's happened behind him because it has been turmoil behind. So Jared Neighbours has gone out to a 56-12, but that wasn't before Angus Liver came from behind with a 55-71 to put himself in the silver medal position. Jared Neighbours countered back with a 56-12 to nab back the silver medal, and that nudges Caleb Soller into 4th position. So Angus Liver, a gold medal in the 200 senior men's, and then moments later steps on to the javelin runway and nabs a bronze.
Didn't he just time that beautifully? 41.24, 49.89, 51.18, 55.71. He was on an upward plane. Just as well as in round 7
rounds. Yeah, exactly. He might have got closer to Doa. Bota, who has finished on a high, 63.76. That's a good way to finish. He had a good series, posting a 63.63 in round 2, and then improved that by another 13 centimetres in round 6. He's your champion in the javelin, and that concludes the field action here at the Jennian Homes 2024 New Zealand Track and Field. So we've finished the field component. All we've got now is the track. 4 4x4 races to come. It's the under 20s, the seniors. Next up will be the under 20 women, where we have 3 teams entered and some speedy women to line up in this 4x4.
Traditional climax of national championships.
Looking to see Emily Faircliffe here, Sri Lanka, Auckland, having won the 400 metre title under 20. She's not too far out from the performance standard for the World Under-20s that she has been chasing. She ran an excellent 200 metres this afternoon as well. Behind her, Derek Collette finishing 2nd. Charlotte Goldsmith's going to hand over to her. Charlotte picking up the long jump title under 20 earlier in the day. There'll be a few physios in action over the next couple of days, Hayden, because some of these athletes, they really have extended themselves across these 4 days.
Oh, you're so right. I've seen the massage tables being well used and athletes pointing, yeah, there and there and there and there. And, oh, can you get that other bit in that part of my body? So there are some weary bodies, because not only is it the end of a big weekend, but for a lot of these athletes, it's the end of the track season. And this is the final hurrah with these 4x4s, and a lot of, particularly the distance athletes, will be saying, I'm going to hang up my spikes after this and go to the roads, go to the cross country. But 4x4 under 20 women still to come.
This race time to go at 2:40, so just a fraction over start time, but pretty much track programs run to time right throughout the 4 days. So again, big ups to all of the officials out there, making this run as smoothly as it possibly can. And it is getting pretty cool out there for those who are hanging around for their runs. I can see some of the 4th leg runners down in front of me, and they're just keeping themselves warm as best they can. That wind's just picked up, sun's disappeared underneath the clouds. We had a lovely morning and early afternoon as they take their marks for the women's 4x400 under 20.
Under 20 women 4x400.
So we've got Auckland, Canterbury and Waikato Bay of Plenty. Waikato Bay of Plenty way out actually in lane 6, so that's a bit confusing in terms of working out the stagger. Auckland running in lane 4, and then in lane 3 we've got Canterbury. So Kate Borton is opening up well for the Auckland team, and we've got Lucas, the Canterbury athlete, and then Sophie Hancock is the opener for Waikato Bay of Plenty.
Auckland's made solid progress here with Kate Borton coming in underneath of Sophie Hancock on the stagger and taking an early lead into the first changeover.
So Kate Borton, silver medal in the 400. She hands her team off in the lead here in the 4x4. Good opening leg for Auckland. They have the lead. They hand off to Bolton. Canterbury handing off to Neve Motley, who picked up a medal, I think it was bronze in the 1500, it was silver in the 1500, behind Bo Ritchie. And Mitsurova, the Waikato Bay of Plenty athlete, now finding herself in the middle. So Auckland in the lead, about 20 metres ahead of Waikato Bay of Plenty, and then it's about another 15 metres back to Canterbury.
Of course, when there's more teams and it's closer, can be a bit of congestion at the start-finish line. Whether we get to see that in the senior men's and women's, well, we'll see, but we certainly see it at international level. Can lead to a fair bit of drama. It's not supposed to be a contact sport, but it can be at times.
All right, Auckland getting the baton. Charlotte Goldsmith has it. And she has it in a position where her team has a good, handy lead.
Canterbury now looking to close down on Waikato Bay of Plenty.
Charlotte Goldsmith looking really strong after a 5.76 to take out the under-20 women's long jump earlier today. So using every ounce of energy she can, and she's looking like a really competent 400 runner, running the third leg for Auckland, and she's going to maintain that about 40-metre lead. But Canterbury is starting to get close to Waikato Bay of Plenty. Charlotte Goldsmith, who better to hand the baton to? Emily Fairclough, the 400-metre under-20 champion.
And a successful handover. And Emily for a victory lap, you would have to say. Waikato Bay of Plenty with Grace Wisniewski. And Holly Gray for Canterbury. Should be a good battle, second and third here.
Yeah, this is going to be a great battle. You've got the silver medalist from the 400 hurdles in Holly Gray, and then Grace Wisniewski, the bronze medalist in the flat 400. So this is going to be a great battle for silver. There you can see
Holly's letting her know that she's there.
Grace Wisniewski. But Auckland are going to run away with this. Emily Fairclough, she won the 400 individual. She's going to bring her team home to a commanding victory in the 4x4. And as soon as Emily finishes, we need to pan back to see this wonderful battle between Canterbury and Waikato. Waikato Bay of Plenty. Canterbury have the lead. Holly Gray, she's going to win it for them. She's going to get the silver medal.
Gray beats Grace in a dramatic finish for the Miners. And it hurt.
Just what you don't want to have is a sprint finish at the 4x4 at the end of the weekend. But Canterbury getting up over Waikato Bay of Plenty. But fantastic running from all these women over a busy weekend.
And Emily didn't hold back either. She had a commanding lead. She could have taken it easily over the last 400 metres of the weekend's competition for her, but no, she gave everything she had as well and wrapped up a comfortable gold for Auckland. And out at the podium, medal presentation, Naomi Waite, a bronze in the senior women's to go with her gold in the under-20, and Kelly O'Hagan. Good to see her back in really good shape. Keely and losing out on countback with 185 to Imogen Skelton takes her first senior title. I believe Sarah Cowley-Ross is still in action out in the field. So let's get to Sarah.
Well, I have the national 200 metre champion to go along with his national decathlon title earlier in the year. But Angus Liver, huge weekend. How did it feel after that 200?
Pretty tired. yeah, legs aren't having it, but pretty stoked.
21.09, a personal best by 0.01, but we'll take every personal best we can get. And then you rushed over to the Javelin. How did that end up?
Ended up getting third somehow in the last throw, but it's a bit rusty, but I can't complain.
And you also got third in the long jump. This is what combined eventers do, event to event. Are you allowed to rest tomorrow?
I hope so. I got a 4x4 now, but definitely rest hopefully for a few days after this.
You've had an amazing season, Angus, now coached by James Sandilands out of Christchurch, but you were saying to me before, it's the squad which is really a great environment to be part of. Talk us through that.
It's just all of the squad is just such a good group of people. Just love training with them, and we push each other. We all do different events, but it's just so cool to the camaraderie and whatnot. It's just unreal. So yeah.
So when will we expect to see you line up across the decathlon again?
It'll be Aussie Nats in the senior again, and then hopefully over in Fiji at Oceanus. Which will be pretty cool. Yeah.
So one title in the 200. It was an amazing race actually, how it unfolded. 2 bronze medals, silver medal in the 4x1, but you've got the 4x400 shortly. What leg are you running?
I'm starting up. Ouch. Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, you go off and do that, but congratulations, Angus Liver, our new national 200 metre champion for 2024.
Absolute sucker for punishment, isn't he? Straight into it. Just a casual 4x4 to open up and put his Canterbury team in hopefully a good position.
They could have given him an extra 3 minutes and let him run last.
I know. Brilliant.
Hey, what about this 4x4 under 20 coming up? I'm just looking at the Auckland team. Caden Taylor, Thomas Cowan, Kahurangi Cotterill and James Ford. That is a lineup.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a really good ding-dong battle in the 4x4. And these boys won't be minding the fact that the temperatures have dropped significantly with that cloud cover coming up. A little bit of breeze, that's probably the only factor that they'll be worried about, but it's a really great field with Otago running in lane 3, Canterbury lane 4, Auckland lane 5 and Waikato Bay of Plenty lane 6. So opening up will be McElrea for Otago, Sevier of Canterbury, and Taylor of Auckland, and Brown of Waikato Bay of Plenty. Nathan Brown, who finished second in that 110 hurdles.
Good number of people have stuck around to watch the conclusion of the competition. It's the anti-penultimate event with 3 relays remaining. This is the men's under 20. Then we step up to the senior women's and men's to wrap up the 2024 Jennian Holmes New Zealand Track and Field Championships. Thanks to all our partners as well that have helped to bring you this live streaming from Thursday night when we covered off the 5,000 metre nationals, and right through the remaining 3 days, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Couldn't have done it without our sponsors, and certainly not without the crew here at Stream Shop, who put in enormous hours because they have to set up before we just waltz in and take over the microphone and of course pack down on the other side. But before we pack down, 3 really good relays.
So Nathan Brown on the outside wearing those Waikato Bay of Plenty colours. We've got Caden Taylor, the 100, 200, under 20 champion. He is off to a blinder already, and you've got to think that Auckland team right in the middle of your screen there is the team to beat, and already making up that stagger on Nathan Brown. Outside of him is Caden Taylor, but the question mark is what sort of endurance has he got over the 1 lap? We know he's fast over the 1-2. How about over the 400? He's got the perfect handoff. Gentleman, though, waiting for him with Thomas Cowan coming up next. Showing such great form in the 800 the other day. But here he comes. Caden Taylor, the winner of the 100 and 200, hands his team off in the lead. Thomas Cowan takes the baton. Canterbury look like they're in second, and Otago in third. Waikato Bay of Plenty needing to do a bit of work to get back in this.
Yeah, Henry Sevier ran a pretty good leg there for Canterbury. He was working really, really hard. Caden, it was sort of a half smile, half grimace, wasn't it, at the back end of 400 metres?
Thomas Cowan, full steam ahead.
Alexander McCourtindale.
Thomas Cowan, the 800 metre champion and 400 metre silver. And here he comes. He's going to hand off to Kahurangi Kotteril, the exact man you want for the job, because he took out the 400 metre title. This Auckland team is so stacked, it's ridiculous.
Bo Brackenbridge has now taken over the Canterbury running baton, and he has to look into the distance at a disappearing Cotterell, which is tough, but battles on for the minor medals here. Second, third, fourth should be good.
As we go through this, I'm going to open up the record books, because we need to keep an eye on the New Zealand under 20 4x4 record, because this could well be under threat.
Certainly one of the most impressive underage teams I've ever seen put together.
So all-comers record 3:02.48. That's by the Kenyan team. And New Zealand under 20 record is 3:07.25. So that's the equation. I think it could be on. Could it?
Well,
I didn't quite get the spec at 400 to go.
He probably has to run around a 48, which is tough, obviously.
But this is the man to do it right here.
It is.
James Ford at full steam here at Newtown Park. Look at him go. Maybe he's got in the back of his mind, he's going to win. Absolutely no question about that. They've got 100 metres on the rest of the field. Look at this boy go, ladies and gentlemen. James Ford. Here he comes. He would love a gold medal. He'd love a national record. Here it goes. Eyes on the clock. It's not going to be a national record, but it's going to be a massive win. Absolutely impressive. Big battle here for silver. Otago, Canterbury just holding on. Canterbury take it. Otago.
Liam O'Donnell clinging on there. And that was a spirited finish. Second and third, Canterbury, Otago.
47-1-3 was the split for James Ford to finish up. He was moving.
Wow.
47.13. Not enough to get the under 20 national record, which stands at a stunning 3:07. It goes way back to 1994.
Does it list? Oh, was that Donaldson, Cadell? I ran against Cadell.
Donaldson and Farrell.
And Farrell, well, I ran against Farrell. Many a time. He was a couple of years younger than me, and so was Mark, but that was a great age for sprinting. Of course, Sean still fourth on the all-time list in the 800, and still, of course, the national record holder at 46.09, and he still retains that, although Lex Revel-Lewis obviously went very close to it at the Sir Graham Douglas, but that was one hell of a team with Donaldson, Cadell, Farrell. Who was the other?
Let me go
Sorry,
back.
Mate,
Armstrong,
okay, don't remember Armstrong, but the rest I do well, and no wonder.
And interesting to see Farrell and Cadell go through and claim the national 4x4 title record, which was actually a year before that, so that was when they were juniors. So, yeah, like you say,
I remember
just
running
all-time team.
I remember running the final leg for Canterbury against Junior Canterbury, and it was me versus Cadell. I was coming off a 400, could not run a decent 100, and Cadell absolutely burned me to the weeds, and Junior Canterbury took out Senior Canterbury, which was not a happy day. But I gave you the wrong split too at the end. I said he had to run a 48. I was actually
must have been a 38.
It was a 38,
yeah.
Which obviously isn't physically possible. So he's come in and run an absolute screaming last leg. So he's done his part. I just didn't do mine.
So now the team managers have recruited their starters for the 4x4 senior women's. We've got 2 races left, 8 laps left of the track for the 2024 New Zealand Track and Field Champs. Not long to go, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be bringing down the curtain on yet another wonderful national championships. It's been 4 days of just spectacular run, jump, throw across the junior age groups, para. We saw that wonderful world record by Danielle Aitchison. We've seen James Preston go number 2 all time in the 800 metres, and we've just seen drama galore, whether it's in the middle distances, in the sprints, or out in the field.
To you and to all of the Stream Shop crew, and thoroughly enjoyed my part in the Jennian Holmes National Track and Field Championship. And I'm going to hand over to Sarah, who's been doing the mahi out in the field, and she can have a cheer for this as she goes into the last 2 races.
Thank you, Mark Rosanowski. It's been great to have such a great team on board on the mics here at Newtown Park. Sarah Cowley-Ross coming back in. And how cold is it out there? It's freezing up the top of the stand. The athletes down there, are they feeling it?
No, they're not. It's much colder up here, actually.
Okay.
But
Good
I
to
tell
know.
you what, these 4x400 metres always bring out such excitement in the closing stages of a championship. And as Angus Liver, as you just heard from him, he's going to run leg 1 of the senior men's, as Hayden just puts on his
absolute madness.
jacket. Well, I actually said to...
It's like the Sparta movie, the 300. This is madness.
Last man
This
standing.
is Angus Liver.
This is Angus Liver right now. He is living. I said to Max Atwell, hey, why aren't you doing 4x400? He said, oh, Angus is doing it. I said, oh, mate.
What doesn't he do? These multi-eventers.
Great to see Shaka Solar there, bringing his contingent of solar power throwers and Team Samoa to this.
Now, just 3 teams lining up here. We've got Manawatu Wanganui in the middle, Waikato Bay of Plenty on the left, and Auckland on the right. Now, Sutton, Bowie, and Smart will be opening things up. I imagine that Cameron Smart will be putting the Auckland team into the lead, you would think, being so proficient over the 1 lap.
Finished 3rd in the senior women's in same time given, 2nd and 3rd. Let's see what these women can do as they are told to stand up and readjust in the starters' hands for the penultimate race of the Jennian Holmes New Zealand Track and Field Championships for 2024 Senior Women's 4x400 metres.
And we're away in the final female race of the weekend. This is the 4x4. 3 teams lining up for this one. Auckland, led by Cameron Smart, and then Waikato Bay of Plenty, Miria Sutton, and Manawatu Wanganui, with Bowie taking them out for their first lap. Cameron Smart, as we suggested, out to an early lead, looking nice and strong as she hits that top bend. The other 2 athletes now go around onto the bend as well. So we've got Maria Sarton, who picked up that silver medal behind Alessandra McDonald in the 400 hurdles. So look for her to show that 4 hurdles strength over the last 100. But Cameron Smart, she's got 100 metres left to run this weekend, and she's going to put her team into a reasonable lead. But here comes Sarton. She's made up some good ground over this last 100 metres. Cameron Smart handing off to Peyton Lee, who's been called up after her duties in the 815. And Waikato Bay of Plenty not too far behind with a good back half of that 400. Amy Ferguson getting the baton for Waikato Bay of Plenty, with Peyton Lee out the lead for this Auckland team.
It's all Auckland in the second leg of the senior women's 4x400 metre relay, as Peyton Lee enters the home straight. She's got 100 metres left to run in this championship, as Waikato Bay of Plenty sitting in second now.
So Peyton Lee, after 8th place in the senior women's 1500 metres, hands it off to, is that Lily Bing? So a slight change up in the order. Is it Lily Bing, the sister of Portia?
Does look like Lily Bing there, different to the name we have on our sheets there. And Lily Bing down the back straight, chased by Alessandra McDonald. She's had a busy weekend.
Yeah, we saw Lily in the 200. I forget if she was in the pole vault. She's been, in recent years, mostly focused on the pole vault, but good to see her in the sprints as well. Just starting to tie up a little bit as she hits the home straight. And McDonald has got her eyes on her. The Manawatu Wanganui team are about 100 metres behind, so unlikely to challenge for the silver. But here we go. It's got a little bit close now. Auckland still have that lead. Here comes Peerless. She has the baton. Stella Peerless, the 800 metre bronze medalist, has her team in first position. But O'Connor behind her is only about, 15 metres back?
Yes, but Peerless is looking strong with 200 to go. And that gap, to my eye, is slightly extending.
I can see the bungee cord stretch.
That is a Hayden Sherman term, and it is definitely stretching. It's all Stella Peerless. It's all this Auckland team.
Here comes Auckland, the 4x4 team. They're going to claim the team gold. They came out of the gates nice and fast, and Stella Peerless is going to bring them to the victory in a tick under 4 minutes. And here comes O'Connor to finish off the Waikato Bay of Plenty's team, just a tick over 4 minutes. So great running from Waikato Bay of Plenty. They got close towards the front of that race, but couldn't quite hold off that fast finish from Stella Peerless. And here comes Manawatu Wanganui. They always put good relay teams together at this event. Kromati finishing off for them, and they will pick up a bronze. So great work from Manawatu Wanganui. And we have one more event, one more race to come. 4 laps of the track. We've got 5 teams lining up in this senior men's 4x4 as we see the very happy Auckland team. They'll be pleased to finish the weekend in a golden fashion.
One event to go.
Peyton Lee there, just removing her bib. She's back from the States, has been over in college there and just taking a bit of a gap year now back home. Going to do a bit of travel as well before she heads back to the States and continues her collegiate career.
Yeah, great to see all these athletes showing up for this relay and showing up for relays. This is a big part of Nationals, and for some people this is their key event, and it's wonderful for everyone to have the opportunity to run a relay if they can. spoke to Georgia Howells earlier, and she was a big endorser of jumping in, putting on your regional or club singlet and showing up for your relay. But we have reached the final event. It's the final countdown. Hayden Sherman, are we allowed to start talking about highlights?
I reckon we are, yeah. And the one that stands out to my mind is James Preston, but also Danielle Aitchison. And what was really cool about that world record, it was alongside Zoe Hobbs, just putting on an absolute masterclass, and really, really cool that Danielle Aitchison was able to get that start. She thought she was going to be in the heats of the senior women's 100, but ended up in the final and pulled along to a new world record in her category. And then that James Preston 800, that will live long in my memory. I still can't quite come to terms with how the heck he did it, but running in stormy conditions to the number 2 all-time 800-metre time. What about yourself, Sarah?
Well, those two events obviously standouts, and I can't not talk about Preston's run in what was horrendous conditions, and to see him go out and attack that race so strongly in the form that he'd always promised, and it was so nice for him to do it at his home track. And I've asked a number of people around the ground since then, what was that time worth in lovely 800 metres, not raining, not southerly gale coming in, as we see the medalists in the 200 metres. This was a great race for me as well. Great to see Georgia Howells stand up.
Really good.
Can't go past Zoe's performance. But in the field, I really liked seeing Eliza do her attempt at 486, which would have been a resident record and also an equal world lead. But I'm going to say that in the long jump, Phoebe Edwards jumping personal best, 6:28. That's something for me.
That was incredible.
That was great. And great to see her come back to the sport after a period of time away. And also I really liked the World Junior athletes who have done performance standards, the likes of Naomi Waite, Madeline Wardell, Susie Kennelly in the discus.
And that exciting senior under-20 boys, 15.
I really liked that. That was so cool, the way... That was one of my favourite races, actually. You'll be pleased to know a 1,500-metre race was one of my favourites. Because those young men all just went for it. And they all were in a position to put themselves in contention for selection. And obviously 7 does not go into 2 that well. So here we have it, though. The senior men's 4x400-metre relay, the final event of the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships for 2024.
And we're away. We've got 2 Otago teams there running in lane 4 and lane 8, and it really is. Could it be Otago 1, Otago 2? We've got Manawatu Wanganui running in lane 5. Lane 6 is Auckland. Lane 7, Canterbury. Now the runners, we've got Fergus McLeay opening up on the inside for Otago. Nat Kirk for Manawatu Wanganui. Auckland is opened by Rogo. And then Angus Liver, of course, from Canterbury in lane 7. And Hayato Yonito for Otago on the outside. And at the moment, it looks like Hayato might have a lead, but Auckland coming through. Rogo looking nice and strong. Here comes Angus Liver, just as we'd expect. It's looking reasonably even as they take it. So the Otago team, led by Fergus McLeay, maybe just getting a little edge. And Cameron Moffat is storming around that bend. Will put Otago in the lead. Let's call that Otago A for now, because they're ahead of the other Otago team.
Just keep in mind who's coming for Otago as well. Felix McDonald and John Gerber.
Josh Howe has the baton for the Otago B team. So let's see if it was a bit of a fast start from Cameron Moffat early, or whether he can hang on to this pace. This is the 400 hurdle champion with the lead, and it looks like he's going to extend that lead. So Otago 1, Canterbury 2, but very closely followed by the Auckland team. That's Zachary Saunders getting the baton for Canterbury. It's Tamuka, the hurdler from earlier this afternoon.
Also in action in the Javelin, Misaki Tamuka. He's had a busy day, but it is Otago. Felix McDonald with 200 to go.
Absolutely flying, the flying mullet, just tearing around the track here at Newtown Park. He's on the top bend. They've got 15, maybe 20 metres over Canterbury. Canterbury looking nice and strong though with Tamuka. Here he comes. McDonald, Felix McDonald, the arms pumping. Manawatu Wanganui looking nice and strong with Jonathan Maples making a resurgence. Look like they're coming up onto the shoulder of Auckland. But look at this, getting the baton. Otago, John Gerber, the silver medalist from the 100 metres. He can run a 4x4.
And Lex Revel-Lewis is running the fourth leg for Auckland, and he has gone straight past Canterbury, and he's got John Gerber in his sights.
John Gerber, 200 metres to run. He's got about 30 metres over Lex Revel-Lewis, the 400 metre champion. What's going to happen over this last 150 metres? John Gerber, he's won many titles for the Otago team. Here they come. Onto the bend. Otago have the lead. Lex Revel-Lewis is coming. I don't think he's going to have enough time. The crowd's on their feet. Lex Revel-Lewis is going to run on a runway because John Gerber is going to claim the 4x4 for Otago. Lex Revel-Lewis, Auckland in second, Canterbury third, Manawatu Wanganui very close behind. Otago do it. Anna Grimaldi is very happy for her team, and no batons thrown, but the chest is certainly showing, and why not? Why not when you've finished a successful weekend like John Gerber? Silver medal in the 100 metres, gold medal in not only the 4x1 yesterday, but the 4x4. Otago on top of the men's relays this weekend. Wow. Well, that concludes what has been a fantastic 4 days of action from Newtown Park. It's been an absolute privilege to bring the coverage on behalf of the Stream Shop, who have done a brilliant job, hard-working camera crew out there getting all the angles, and the production team working very long days bringing you the action. And on behalf of Sarah Cowley-Ross and Mark Krosnowski, myself, Hayden Sherman, we thank you all, the viewers, for tuning in throughout the weekend. We really do appreciate you guys. And Sarah, last words?
It's been a privilege, and it's a privilege to see these athletes out here at the National Champs showing up. So many personal bests, so many opportunities for them to do their thing. It would not be possible without the huge village that it takes to put on an event like this. So hats off to all involved. We won't go into everyone because I'll miss someone, but it has been wonderful to sit alongside Hayden Sherman and Mark Rosanowski alongside our team. Dunedin is the location next year. We cannot wait. We will see you there with bells on. Until then, we hope everyone travels home from Wellington safely. A successful Jennian Homes 2024 New Zealand Track and Field Champs. From our team to you at home, good afternoon. Thanks for watching. Mā te wā.